Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm a board certified health and wellness coach, and I help adults who are ready to take small steps that add up to big change when it comes to their healthy aging. Welcome to my Coaches Need Coaches check-in. This is episode 7, and we have almost completed Seth Capart's Primal 60 program. I'm going to put the link in the description to that. But apparently, we did Primal 45 this week instead of 60 because there were some things that happened. Anyway, more about that later. Let's go ahead and go over this week's weigh-in. I was really excited to weigh in, and I have to tell you, I actually weighed in yesterday because I just had the time to do it. So I lost 2.2 pounds since last week, and that gives us a total of, I think it's like 12 pounds since July 1st. So I'm really happy with the weight loss. If you've watched my other videos, you knew that was an important thing for me, that I was just gaining too much weight and then I wasn't moving enough. I didn't have any changes this week in my waist or hip measurement, and that's good. And then my morning glucose this morning was 84. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think overall, my goal with the Primal 60 program was to kind of get my eating plan dialed in a little bit more. I had been eating a clean diet, but I was just kind of getting off track too many times. There were too many cheat days and things like that. And then the other thing was the movement. I needed to increase my movement. So what am I celebrating this week? Well, let's start with the good news. We like to do that. After no weight loss last week, I'm down 2.2 pounds. Super happy about that. It's great to see. And what it demonstrates is that consistency is key. It is all about progress, not perfection. And my energy is good. And if you watched an earlier video, you saw that I had a history of central sleep apnea. This was the reason I moved from Colorado to Texas. And I had a lot of fear around increasing my exercise. And so part of Primal 60 that attracted me was that it included 8,000 steps a day, adding a high intensity interval training, and then weightlifting back into my routine. So my energy is good. I'm celebrating this habit building phase, enjoying consistency and noticing the small shifts in my energy. Wow. I'm going to put a chart in the graph about how many miles that I have walked this last week. And just compared to even October last year, I am walking a lot and it's adding up to a lot of miles. So that is all good. I'm turning the phone off still at 8 o'clock. I do have more steps ahead of me when it comes to my sleep routine and really developing a good evening routine. And just to put it in context, which was one of our C words for today, it took me quite a while to develop a nourishing morning routine. And so I'm being very patient with myself with the evening. So just keeping that up. And it's starting to feel this week more normal to turn the phone off. It's not like last week I was a bit in a panic over it and it was causing me some discomfort. But so let's get into what was challenging last week. Oh no, I fell off my plan. My dear husband, he's the DH, and we had pizza on, I think it was Saturday, I don't remember. And we had the dreaded ice cream sandwiches. And it could have felt like a disaster. In fact, I used to beat myself up for this because one of my favorite thought patterns that I have changed in my life is that all or nothing thinking, right? And catastrophizing, it's so easy to catastrophize these things and then go, oh, this just isn't going to work. So this is not a we were bad story. This is, we made it 45 days. I went and looked after it happened. I looked at the calendar. I was like, okay, how many days have I been on this? And just right on target, dialed in. And it was about 45 days, and then I kind of applied the curiosity part where, well, what kind of led up to this? And, when I looked back, the truth was I had a heavy work day. It was Thursday or Friday, and I had not done kind of some of my normal routine things. And I tend to do that. I'm a very focused person, and I tend to want to get intense and just kind of get in a project and not give up or not stop because I'm almost finished. But the truth is, the lesson learned was, if it's not finishing in a reasonable amount of time, we can put it away and go back to it. So applying that curiosity and the compassion, the self-compassion, and putting it in context. So the context was I had a very stressful day. And really, it was a comfort eating type of thing in a way. Noticing the stressful day of work where I put off my exercise, got a bit off balance. And it doesn't really matter in the big picture. No, it's okay. It really is okay. And there's no reason to criticize. And we can just get that inner critic and just flick them off the shoulder and say, be gone. So this did not erase 45 days of progress. And it reminded me that progress is not is not perfection is real. I did get a little curious about the why, and then my plan. Usually when I run into off-plan eating, I'll call it off-plan eating, because for me it's really a permanent lifestyle change, the anti-inflammatory eating, eating mostly whole foods and things, but I'm not getting enough variety. And then that's when kind of the comfort, I mean, I love food. It's beautiful. It tastes good. It's all about, I could be a real foodie. And so I've got a stromboli recipe that's a keto. It's from I Breathe, I'm Hungry. I'll put a link. She's one of my favorite healthy cooks on the internet, and I'm indebted to her. So we'll be making that stromboli, I think, this weekend. And the Primal 60 program I just mentioned, it is clean eating. And I had 2 years ago done this anti-inflammatory diet, and I'll probably make a video about that in the future. But this is the diet that I feel good on: a lower carb, higher fat, balanced eating, real food, and mostly we cook our own food. So what is my compass for next week? Planning for next steps. The Primal 60 is coming to an end, and I have to say, last week I kind of started thinking about it. Am I going to re-up with this? Am I going to move forward with something else? And I think the plan for me, I'm going to go into next week. So let's not get off on that. But I'm already kind of thinking about what's going to come next. And next Wednesday, I'll give you the real update on that, going over the final measures. And then the bottom line takeaway this week is always remember curiosity, compassion, and context. And then notice, if you have all or nothing thinking, just notice it and ask, well, what if the opposite is true? What if I did eat pizza and I had ice cream sandwiches and I'm not going back to that once a weekend again? Like, it's not going to become a once or twice a week habit. It was just something that was kind of good, and it was okay. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks for watching Coaches Need Coaches. I would love to hear from you in the comments about what your steps you're taking now to improve your wellness. Don't forget to like this video and follow my page, and we'll see you for next week's Coaches Need Coaches